All right, let me get that turned down. That way it won't be overbearingly loud. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Horde, the greatest alliance on server 710. Also, the stream. So, got to start doing my dailies, everything, and then, of course, getting y'all's thoughts, opinions on things like Jason Nesmith, which I'm admittedly kind of mad on, but there could be people out there who like him. Getting everybody's overall thoughts on the battle pass itself that we had, because obviously there's 2 battle passes this month. Some people might choose to partake in both. Some people might choose to ignore both. Maybe you'll split it and go 1 for 1. I'm genuinely curious when people are going to do that. Of course, talking everything else, Star Trek Fleet Command here for the next hour and a half-ish. We'll see how long it goes, and maybe a bonus stream on Twitch tonight. We don't know. So I sent the wrong ship. Yay, Rev, for messing up. Woohoo! Yay, screw ups. But a happy Sunday to you regardless of where you're at. And I guess we'll just go ahead and mine in Deneva now, since we made that oopsie. Hold on. Oh, gosh. Warp times. Low level. It gives me plenty of time to talk. How's everybody doing today? What are y'all up to? Bonus stream sounds nice, but if we did a bonus stream, it would be for our puzzles and survival game. Just doing some different things, playing as a community. But obviously, we end up talking about Star Trek Fleet Command every day, no matter what we're playing. Whether it's War Thunder, puzzles, building Legos, we're always talking about it. So does ability work with Pipe Roll combo? Now, I've not tested that, but I can tell you that his primary ability that everybody talks about with Jason Nesmith gets interpreted as working against Fatu Cray, but it only works against Chimeras. So we'll use this one. We can just scroll down here at the bottom and read him, because I don't have almost any shards from him on this account. But you do have the Never Give Up, decreases invading entity shield mitigation by 30%. That is the Chimeras, and then Never Surrender is Barrier. Now, I've not personally tested if this combines with Pike Moreau, but I guess there could be some value there again in hostile grinding, potentially. I personally don't feel the need for Apex, personally, in either G3, G4, or G5 when it comes to hostile grinding, but that could vary as newer hostiles come out. Mirror Waves is probably one of the few places I'm like, hey, that could be nice to have some extra Apex barrier, but generally Apex barrier to me feels almost exclusively a PvP mechanic. Yes, there are a couple things that want it, but there are also the mirror researchers to help with that. So for me, Jason Nesmith is an but I'm also very open to hearing what everybody else's experience with Jason Nesmith to see what y'all think, and maybe you like him, maybe you love him, and I would love to know either way, in either direction. So what do you think about the end of the Alliance event? I've basically ignored it. It's like I said in the video, it was DOA. And, if I don't enjoy content, I don't do it. I mean, that's one thing that I've managed to overcome personally in this game is if I don't enjoy it, I ignore it. Whereas a lot of people, I'm not saying this in like a accusatory way or like calling anybody out. The game is designed to make you feel this way. But I no longer have this like, well, I've got to do it because it's part of the game, right? I'm going to miss out on something. It's literally FOMO. It doesn't affect me anymore. It doesn't bother me at all. So if I don't get something or if I don't participate in something, like it's okay. If I don't enjoy it, I don't do it. Right. So I will maybe have some loops that I will look at, once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I didn't bother with the Alliance events after it ended. And then obviously on the low level account, even though we're in the Apprentice League, I can't really do anything in any of this. So I ignored here as well. Now I do have some that I could start going after, say the Borg Alcove here, but it's kind of pointless because I don't have near enough. So, hey Q, good to see you. Good to see you. So, good morning from California. Good morning. Yeah, I hear California is a beautiful place. Very beautiful. Now, Dex says that they've been running Janeway as captain with the Doctor, and Nesmith has been doing way better against silent hostiles versus when I was using Enterprise E data. Interesting conclusion. I mean, in that regard, I could look at doing like Enterprise E Picard, Enterprise E data, and then have Nesmith instead of Janeway, which is why I typically run for a full ISO build. But at the same time, yeah, I could see that being potentially more effective. My thing would be is my silent runs. I can already do my silent runs and have plenty of like several days worth of pulls. So it could make me better, but I don't need it. And I think the issue for me with it being, would then be, if I don't need it, should I push in the leaderboard for it. And I just feel like he's another officer that's good. He's just not needed, right? He's That doesn't mean that you can't have value. And I'm glad that you brought up a crew deck that you're enjoying with him. But like, there's nothing that Nesmith can help me do that I'm not already doing. And that's the tricky part for me is, you know, when you get into these leaderboards, obviously the only way to get these epic officers on the month they come out is to dump. You've either saved a lot of materials or you're going to spend to place decent enough through the leaderboards. And for me, I usually am at the saving method. I'm almost exclusively at the saving resources method. To do that, I have to have something that I know is going to make my game better, right? And I can't say Nesmith is doing that for me. But again, that doesn't make Nesmith bad. It just means that, you know, I don't feel the need to go after him. But I can see Apex Barrier being, you know, good, especially if you're a player who doesn't play like me. Like if you don't take the time to, you know, get your ships at very high tier so they can always do, you know, what's in front of them, as well as what's, you know, at their current level, you know, preparing for the future in the current, it makes sense, right? But if you are a player like me who tends to take things slow and you tend to have stronger ships, you're probably not going to need Nesmith, but he can be nice to have. And in the survey that we do, I always include that option for the officers, right? Like, are they must-haves? Are they nice to get eventually? And I feel like Nesmith is a nice to get eventually. Like, nobody needs him today, but if you do get him, you could benefit from him. So Virtual says, good afternoon from England. I'm just going to Nesmith, or going for Nesmith just for the unlock. After that, I'll save mats for next month. That makes sense. For me on the main, we'll switch over to the main here, and we'll take a look at where my Nesmith is in terms of the overall grind. Let me go ahead and click this because, yay, hostile hunting. But if we go look at where I'm at with Nesmith, I guess I could try to unlock him. The SLB in G5 is obviously going to be much higher than G4, and a lot of people like Nesmith on my server, but I've got 45 out of 120. And here's your officer ability we're talking about. There's the Apex Barrier. 2000s, it's a decent amount. I feel like that's going to wane off in terms of its value in time because they've already been adding a lot of Apex. But for now, decent amount. The captain's ability means nothing to me. But if you like him as a side officer, that's completely a-okay. For me to go after him, click all these things because my Monovine's auto grinding, which means I'm completing events. All right, yay, Monovine auto grind. But if we were to go into our event structure, you see for me to, you know, get, what would I need? About 60, 70, I'd have to complete this, which I'm not a fan of the heroic SMS this time around. I am really close to this milestone right here, which I might go ahead and finish just because it's only 1 million points away. And then here's the SLB where I currently rank 93rd with 4.2 million, with the top being 50 plus. Now this is not as bad as it was last week. And last week it was actually very, very high, where we had like 4 or 5 people who were in 40 plus million within the first 3 hours. Actually, let me get this light over here because this little light box here where it's not green screening right is bugging me. There we go. Moving that light over should help a little bit. Also need to lower that light, but it is what it is. It's also because I don't reset my green screen to like what I'm wearing. Some days the green screen works better, some days it works worse based on the white balancing and what's going on with my clothing. So yeah, random things that annoy the streamer that most people probably don't notice, but hey, that's the joys of being me. Hey, another person from the UK. Good to see you, Time Lord. Just unlocked Metreon Cascade free to play and maxed my disco at Officer 38. Congrats. You have done 2 things that I wish I would have had at 38, and I'm proud of you. Sincerely, I think that's awesome. I think that's absolutely awesome. Beat Mirror Universe Wave Hostiles for Galactic Recruit tokens. That's enemy. I don't know if I'll do that. We'll see. We'll finish all the other grinds and then we'll see what we have time for. Do need to do Anomalous Phenomenon though. So if you haven't done your Anomalous Phenomenon, now is the time to do your Anomalous Phenomenon. So go ahead and take this as the reminder it is. Also, don't forget to log into the website to do the Star Trek FleetCommand.com mission key redeem. That just helps out your alliance. And it's nice. It's nice to help out the alliance. There's also an SMS. I never complete the SMS because I always forget about this. But if you aren't forgetting about it, go ahead and do that right there so you can get your mission key. And that way you can get free stuff. Yay, free. If it's free, it's for me. I'm actually doing it on my baby account as well real quick. I have to use another browser. I have another browser logged in for that one. All right, so where's the store button? hit done, store, and it makes me want to sign in again because of course, why not? Yeah, log in. Let's see what chat's saying while I'm waiting for this to do the thing. Lots of Adderall? No, I don't do Adderall. I don't do any drugs. No drugs. Not a fan. Not a fan. Always forget enough to be just one short. Well, let's see where I'm at, honestly. Let's take a look. As someone who I know I've been forgetting. We are... SMS... Mission Key. Mission Key. So there are 8 days left and I need 10 more points. So, as predicted, I've forgotten. But almost to the final one here, helping my alliance get theirs, which is more important to me anyway. Helping the alliance. Let's see how many other people have been struggle busing. I am actually in 33rd, so it looks like most of this alliance is struggle busing to remember to do their mission keys. Charles, good to see you, man. Good to see you. A quick question. Are you going to continue Who Dat Confession when the season starts? Who Dat and God bless. Charles, I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know. A big thing is a time thing. I'm still debating it, so I've got like 2 weeks left to figure that out. But yeah, I obviously greatly miss it. It's just more of a time and money thing. But good to see you, Charles. Really good to see you. Speaking of the disco, should I prioritize warp research or unlock summoning first? You should prioritize maxing it out. Burnt pork. Now, if you've maxed it out, then after that, you want to focus on getting the summoning. And then after that, you'll focus on the other researches like the warp range. That is my recommendation. Now, as we learned in the Twitch stream a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, when we did a little poll there, I know it's about 25% of people prefer to do the research first, 75% prefer to do the ship first. I'm a firm believer in the ship first method, but I don't think there's a wrong answer. It just depends on what you prefer. I definitely go ship first. Max it out, then I'll start dumping everything. The logic behind that simply being you get more from the refinery as it maxes out, and once the ship is maxed, then you just got that one research to do versus if you summon it and then it's not maxed, you're not getting the 92 days worth of speed ups every week. You're also not going to be getting, warp range anyway because you won't have the warp range upgraded. So I always do the ship first. And mathematically, it is faster to do the ship first. It's not a huge difference, but mathematically, it is faster to do the ship first because you're getting the refinery up first. But again, there's not a wrong method. It just depends on what you prefer. You do need to max it out, and the disco takes a long time to max out. It and the Devore are two of the longest maxing routes in the game. So yay on that. It's so much fun. It takes so long to get it done, but work on it. All right. Working on the swarms. Very nice. Very nice. Was all's good? Thank you, Valhalla. Appreciate the kind words. Appreciate the kind words. Never going to max your Devore, it seems. I haven't maxed my Devore. Yeah, I'm on team like, hey, here's a way you can spend $50 in the game to skip something. Just buy the Fisha at 35. Skip the Devore. That grind is long, arduous, annoying, and not worth it. Here's my tier 7 Devore, which I honestly can't upgrade, but I still don't think I can max it after I've been collecting parts. Yeah, I can't max it. I've been collecting parts for forever, just through the refinery. And yeah, I still have not got it. So it's sitting there at tier 7. It's very, very gross. Not a fan. Not a fan of the Devore. Now, I will also say that if you're a free-to-play listening, you do want to work on your Devore. Because you need Latinum. You want Latinum. Latinum's good. Latinum's great. Latinum pays for a lot of things. You want Latinum. The Devore sucks. I hate it. Hate that daggum thing. Because the grind is like a year long. And that's if you're being like very studious of doing all the things and getting all the parts. So, woof, gross. Now, Burnt Pork says they bought the Fisha when it was $20 last year. Not a bad purchase. Yeah, if you did that, that's great. Absolutely, save that money. And if you notice, Star Trek Fleet Command has been running like what I would classify as actual sales, because a lot of times when they say a sale, it's mostly just, oh, we're keeping the price pack the same, but we're increasing the number of things in it. Where they've actually been doing things like selling 2 special ships in one, and like I'd actually call that a sale considering those are typically $100 items. But there's still plenty of people who are just not going to spend that amount of money, which I think is fine. Spend what you want. Is the Devore even worth it when you have the Fisha? The short answer is yes, because more is more. Remember, this is a common theme on the channel. So even this right here, see, I'm going to do my big pull here. I'm still going to get latinum every day. And while 720 latinum for where I'm currently at is not a lot of latinum, if we multiply that by 365, let's do 720 times 365. That's 262,000 latinum a year. Yeah, that's good. Is it as good as this? No, which is significantly more. But more is more. And if you have an opportunity to get more, we take the opportunity to get more. But yeah, it's definitely not like a colossal, ridiculous, insane amount, but it's still more, and we always encourage more. I mean, we always want to get more. So would I recommend like working on it? Maybe you do it like I'm doing, where you're just slow playing it over time and just pulling from that refinery, but not really focusing on it. However you choose to do it, it's not really a wrong answer. And if you choose to skip it entirely via the method of just buying the Fisha and not even working on it for the first 35 levels of your game, that's also completely fine. I gotta go do ISO. That's what we gotta do today. So let's go do some ISO grinding real quickly. And I'm actually gonna use my Pylum for ISO grinding. Anybody in the chat know why Rev's gonna use his Pylum instead of his Tribune for ISO grinding? Anybody in the chat know? I mean, everybody should know, but just in case, it's an edification moment. It's a time to edify. I don't need burning, so. Loot boost! Good job, everybody. Not for the flex, Laprim. Loot boost. Some people in the chat recognized it. Loot boost. Pylum can pull more loot than the Tribune can because of its ship ability, which is why the Pylum, Coronar, and the Newton all have value going into the 50s. Still have value for things like this. Even though my Tribune can grind these very easily, I'm going to get more loot faster by using the Pylum because of its ship ability in conjunction with the officer abilities of things like Mr. Picard, Enterprise E Picard. Good job, chat. How am I taking time about the Exocomp factory? What do you mean? What about, you just talking about like how long it takes to max out? And the Exocomp factory does take time. Absolutely. Absolutely. There we go. At 471 out of 650 BPs for the Tribune. I want to get your opinion on what would be best. On being 53 by Christmas. I don't understand what the question is. You didn't tell me what a question. You didn't ask for a question. You didn't ask a question. What am I supposed to do? Oh no. All right. I pull the ship parts from the Cosmic Cleanup and cross my fingers to get Disco/Devore parts. Solid logic. Now, when I do my Cosmic Cleanup pulls, I am pulling the one to hopefully get more rare Armada directives. But yeah, going after that makes sense. Anything you do to expedite a grind is definitely recommended, right? We hate how long some of these grinds can take, so anything you can do to expedite is recommended. Madam Stargazer, thank you so much for supporting me and my children. That's very kind of you to support by being a member of the channel. Thank you very, very much. Let me see if I finished Anomalous Phenomenon. I did. All right. We'll go ahead and recall that, send it back home. Don't jump. Oh, thank you. I'm going to save my juice. All right, we're heading back. Heading back. What tier would be the best Tribune if I plan on being 53 by Christmas? 4 months. Tier 9, tier 7, depending on how many rare ores you got laying around. Hey, Thief, good to see you, man. I appreciate you. Good to see you coming on in. Hope you're doing very, very well, my friend. Going through our grinds and discussing the Galaxy Quest and Jason Nesmith. Did you get Jason Nesmith, Thief? How's Sunday going? It's going. It's Sunday. You're 2 months sober from STFC. Cool. Didn't need to tell us that. Chill. Look, don't take this the wrong way. I do not see the point in people who quit something and then coming around to tell people they quit. Cool. Go enjoy something. If you want to talk about something that we play like puzzles and survival or War Thunder, that's great. It's not an airport. No need to announce your departure. Alexander Dane's below decks ability is nice for waves. It is. I won't be getting him, but it is nice. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think instead of the Protector, it would have been more lore accurate to have the ISS Enterprise from Mirror Universe. Probably, but again, the ISS Protector is part of Galaxy Quest, and the Galaxy Quest is what they had to run, so here we have it. Are the G6 uncommon ships worth it? Not really. At the moment, they're just built for cube purposes. I'm going to build them when I finally get up there just for collection purposes because I love them. So I'm going to build the Negvar and the Akira because I love those two ships. Always have. The Akira is actually my favorite Federation design. That's not an Enterprise. And the Negvar, well, I've got to rep the Klingon Empire. So I love it. I want it. I'm going to get it. That's what, probably 2 years away from me. So it's a long way away, but at the same time, I can still look forward to it. But it's definitely not anytime soon. Dustin, good to see you. How are you doing? Hope you're doing very well. I'll put event only invasion in Source Galactic Acclaim because that's what it's tied to. You live in my Discord? That's cool, Thief. What you live with? What you sharing with everybody? But I mean, Galactic Acclaim is tied to the mechanic tied to this month. I mean, it's pretty standard operations for STFC. Don't lock currencies behind certain events, just like Incursions has currencies locked behind Incursions. Got to participate in Incursions. And like we talked about, Galactic Invasions is essentially an Incursions mechanic, but through PvE instead of PvP. Here's my Pylum, 10. I haven't touched my Pylum since I left G4. So my Pylum has stayed, where it was at, and it will continue to stay where it's at. So. Went to Ops 50, finally hit my Tribune and have a tier 7. Thank you for your support. You're welcome, B. I hope you're enjoying that. I, obviously, am a big fan of the Tribune. Now, I've said that repeatedly, so it's not a hidden thing. But I hope you're enjoying it, and I have a lot of fun. I mean, the armadas that I'm able to punch up to now, the silent grind that has been made easy going into the 50s has been nice. So I've enjoyed it. Major Sambo says they finally got their island to tier 10 as well. Congrats, ma'am. Good morning. Been lurking. Well, appreciate that. That's very kind of you. But congrats on your tier 10 Pylum. Depending on the configuration, I get my Pylum above 100 million, which is pretty dope. Now, it is my fourth biggest ship now. So I got my Vorchow's number 1. Then I've got my Tribune, then my Talios, and then my Pylum, are my strongest ships at the moment on this account. So the Pylum is slowly fading back, but it's not done. Her fight is not over. It is slowly fading back. So, you have any idea what ship will come after Ops 70? Or they will do more levels? They'll do more eventually, but I don't think G7's around the corner. So, I don't think G7's around the corner. Got your Newton tier 7. It won't be upgrading any further. Completely fine. Missing a bit of ship parts for tier 7. Yeah, I mean, I worked the rare parts and everything to make that happen. Obviously doing the refineries and going through all the different claims and redeems. It takes time. Y'all remember that I was, how long? We'd have to go back and look in videos, but if we talk about like starting at level 46, I was probably 46 to 50 for not a full year, but a little under a year. I mean, so it was a lot of time to work on a lot of those parts and get those parts acquired. So, yeah. Is the Kamari going to be worth investing in? Not really, Cool Gamer. The best ship for you at 25 is the Vidar. So working on getting the Vidar should be your priority. Working through that on things like Cosmic Cleanup, Event Stores, etc. You can build the Kumari, but I would not recommend investing uncommons into it. So you can build it for those first couple of tiers. It'll be a little bit better warp range. It'll be solid for hostile grinding. The main thing you want to focus on at that level is getting the Vidar. That would be my recommendation. So, there's no content in G6 yet, Sandra. That's not true. You just don't like the content. There's a difference. There's a difference. Hazards are content. All right, you just don't like it. Say you don't like it. It's okay. Well, it's the main reason most of us don't go there. We don't like it either. So I get that. But don't say there's no content. It's just not good. Say the truth. Says no content almost sounds more hopeful than bad content. And Thief, it's good to see you, man. You never told me what you were streaming in the Discord. Thief, one of our friendly level 70s. He's actually the one who sent out the Enterprise E video that we put out here on the channel when we showed off the Enterprise E that I will hopefully have in 17 years. So we'll see. It'll take a while to get up there. Okay. All right. You're playing? Oh, you're just playing the game? That's dope, man. I love when people come into the stream or come in the Discord and stream and people can hang out and talk. I think that's great. I encourage everybody to do that. We're going to see G7 soon? No. I would be absolutely shocked. There's no point to make G7. There's only 4,000 people in G6 and it's been out for almost a year now. There's no point in G7. There's not near enough people. Why would you release G7? For like, what, a few hundred people that might be willing to pay to go up there? No, I would not expect G7 until next, Q3, Q4. Hey, Lube, good to see you. Good to see you. Dogfather says tier 1 tests for Jason are disappointing. What are you testing him with, out of curiosity? I do think there are some combinations where Apex Barrier can be beneficial. Like I was saying earlier, I don't really feel like it's needed. A lot of our things will do what we need them to do, but there are situations where I can see them being a little bit better. Come for the chats. That's always good enough. Chats are good. Friends are good. Community's great. Social structures are great. Burning Chrono says, I hit level 58 last week. 60 gonna take forever. Saying this is tier 7. It's worth going to tier 9 for the extra below deck slot versus bringing up the 53 on comms a bit more. I mean, out of the comparison, I'd probably do the Sanctus. But you know me, I'm probably going to do both. So I've got my pretty Vorcha here, who's sitting at tier 3. We'll be slowly working on getting her to tier 5, which is probably where I'm going to slow down. But I have this bad habit of playing slow and enjoying every little bit. So who knows? But the current plan is tier 5 for this. Yes, I know tier 6 would give me a Borg Cube update. Y'all forget that Borg Cube means absolutely nothing to everybody below about level 57, 58. So that doesn't really do anything for me. Probably going to stop at tier 5. I might end up pushing myself to tier 7 just because I love the daggum thing. We'll see. That's a lot of material cost. And the G5 economy has definitely improved, but it is not as good as like the G4, G3 economy. I don't know if I'm going to do that far, but we'll see if I'm able to hold back. I do have a habit of being like, oh, I can't resist. I love this thing so much. And then I dump all my mats into it. So if y'all remember, that was actually one of my issues when I was going to 49 is I had dumped so much into my pylum because I love the pylum so much that I actually got slowed down for about a month pushing to 49 because I needed to collect more stuff from events. So this is a common problem with Rev. Common problem with Rev. You need a tier 9 G6 uncommon to tier your cube tier 14. Or you can just, you know, wait and go get the Titan instead. Depends on what you want to do, Shane. Depends on what you want to do. Corvus tier 6, Vorchas tier 3. Oh, man, tier 3? Oh, come on. You got to respect the Klingons more than that, man. Tier 3? Come on. No. You got to pump them numbers up. I changed my mind. I changed my mind. Get that Vorcha up, baby. I changed my mind. How dare you disrespect the Klingon Empire by having a puny tier 3 Vorcha at your level? You should be ashamed of yourself. You bring dishonor to your house. No glory. Fix it. Fix it. Just opened level 50, currently 110 power. What are must-haves for going 51? I have a whole video for that, Anthony. If you want just a rough, quick 30-second, I was 140 plus million power before I had, in my opinion, completed enough of my research, buildings, and ships to push into G5. The main things are going to be, you know, I would recommend having the blueprints for the ship you want to go after, like the Nova. I'd recommend having at least a couple million Latinum put away because you're needing to have a lot of Latinum for the commons. And even though the common grind is not near as bad as it was when G5 first rolled out, that's a big thing that I tell players. You're going to want to keep that in mind because the commons are very expensive. You're going to need a couple million Latinum just to start pushing into the 50s. And those are some of the basic things. Now, there's definitely more that we can discuss, but, you know, I would say that if you've got 110 mil power, you still got a lot of research to do, lots of buildings that probably haven't been upgraded. I would focus on all those. Take advantage of being at the top of G4. Take advantage of being at the top of your leaderboard, because obviously the leaderboard hasn't changed yet. And accomplish as much as you can. And then when you feel completely ready, move up. So, sufficiently shamed, hoarding the battleship parts for the Dare decks. Hey, battleship parts for the Dare decks are important. I respect that. But, Vorcha! Come on! Vorcha! It's Klingon! You should be shamed more. In fact, I don't hear that as an excuse because you're sitting down there doing nothing and you've got all these beautiful refineries for your resources. You've got all these beautiful refineries for your battleship mats right here. Excuses! I clearly haven't got my Gorn Eviscerator up. But once it is, it'll be getting me the 5-star that I need. Currently, it is so that I can continually upgrade my G4 ships if I want to use them for, words are hard, for SLBs. So, all right, so don't need that. And this is tomorrow I can pull that. Okay. All right, let's continue this grind, get our Apex in. Good evening to you as well, Evil Corsair. Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you doing? Tell me about your game. Tell me about your day. Put respect on all faction ships, Trinity or bust. That's difficult because I haven't even done the Trinity, right? Like, I don't have the Newton. I do have the Trinity of the 42s. I had the Trinity of the 35s or 34s, but I scrapped them. I had the Trinity of the 32s. I had the Trinity of the 28s. I eventually had the Trinity of the 26s. Don't have them of the 46s. Definitely don't have them of the 50s. So that's difficult. But flip side, I have them of the 53s. So the Northcut is sitting here building right now. And if I had room, I'd have a Corvus building. In fact, Scopely, you're always looking for a new thing to monetize. Just for the sake of monetizing it, why not have 2 shipyards? Why? Why not? Nobody needs it, but you love selling stuff nobody needs all the daggum time. Why not 2 shipyards just so I can see the Northcut and the Corvus building at the same time? Why not? All right? It's pointless. Nobody needs it. Plenty of people would buy it. Why not? Do it. Do it. Anyway, here we go. I'm scared Rev will curse me if I tell him I'm a Romulan lover. I will curse you. Yeah, I will. In fact, I'm cursing you right now, Any Cool Gamer. You are an absolute person. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. You wouldn't buy that? I would not. But people would. And I would still enjoy it vicariously. To people like Theep and Eastio and, you know, not Moopsy, Panda, right? Bad Wolf would probably get it, right? I would enjoy it through other people. I would enjoy it through other people. Patrick says they would buy it. There you go. There's always somebody who will. And just like Theep allowed me to enjoy the Enterprise E, even though I'm nowhere near the Enterprise E, I can enjoy watching someone build like a fleet of Klingon ships. Like, how just like cool would it be just have like a Vorcha and a D4 building at the same time, or like, you know, your Negva and then a little Vorcha next to it. I mean, that would be so cool. Doesn't matter if it's useful, it would just be cool. So there you go. There's my silly logic for the day. Thank you, Dust, for encouraging people to hit the like button. Very kind of you. Very, very kind. So, you'd rather more dry docks? I mean, yeah. Why does one have to negate the other? They're not mutually exclusive, Shane. I also would like more dry docks. I'd like more hangar space. There's a lot of things I'd like. So, I'd love it. Ron agrees it'd be cool. There you go. I'm sure there's a Scopely employee listening, and they're going to come out with it, and like 10,000 people are out of the 250,000 that play this game every day are going to buy it, and it's pointless. But you know what? A lot of things are pointless. Every PvP meta is pointless because it's going to get eradicated in 6 months, but people buy it all the time. So, I see the family as well. Good to see you, Jasmine. Officer 9 are wondering if a Max Enterprise alone is able to carry DOS 42. Absolutely. Max Enterprise can absolutely do it. Yep. Yep. What are good Armada crews? James, the best Armada crew in the game be the Bajoran set, which is going to be like Cisco, Miles O'Brien. Then the third can be a lot of things. It can be Julian Bashir. It can be Dax. You can actually make 2 full Armada crews if you have the entirety of the Armada set from Bajor. The Voyager set's pretty solid as well, with Chakotay as captain. Anything that gives you more shots and isolytic and all those other things are nice. Then you also have the classic 5.6 con that people still run around and use every now and then. But there's still quite a few different good Armada crews, but some of the classics still hold true. I mean, I actually have 5.6 con sitting on the Vorchai right now. You know, and then here's my Miles, Cisco, Kezia, Dax. Look at that beautiful Talios. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that Tron skin. Oh, it's gorgeous. If you don't have it, you're jealous, aren't you? It's okay to be jealous. I won't get mad at you. Nero Kumak Livis. That's old school. That's super old school. When will Uno come to STFC? You trying to catch me off guard with your questions, Steve? Because you succeeded. You succeeded, Shane. Good to see you. Good to see you. You don't like how the Vidar looks just because they fly the wrong way? I don't understand, LaPrim, how the Vidar flies the wrong way. You mean the species 8472 hostiles that fly the wrong way? Where'd you grind out your 53 BPs? In the faction store? Totally not jealous, just ignore the jealous in my eyes. Yes. After Uno, they'll bring in Dos. Nice. You made a Spanish reference. Very good. Very good. Blue crew all the way for all armadas. Solid. There are even multiple loot crews now. Like even Enterprise E Picard can work with his loot ability on Armadas. I mean, depends on which Armada crew you want to run and what loot you want to go after. There are plenty of options. What officer crew do you load out on the Tribune for silent enemies? This one. This is what I hunt silence with my Tribune. Obviously, I have Neelix below decks, which gives a little bit of extra oomph. And then obviously I have criticals. Then I have hull breach. I have Tom Paris for mitigation. But I use Enterprise E Picard, Enterprise E Data Janeway, which is a mix of isolytic and loot. That's what I use. U-shape, be it at the back, not the front. No, it shouldn't. No, it shouldn't, because it's based off the Narada, and that's not how the Narada flew. No, it shouldn't. Pretty solid to go to for a lot of things. I mean, that has become my primary crew. Is that the best crew for every situation? No. Is it a good crew for every situation? Yes, if you have tiered up your ships appropriately. Now, if you're out there with like a tier 3 pylum, about to go after 46 silence, don't use that crew. I would not tell you to do that crew. But if you are a tier 7, tier 9 pylum, and you're going after 46s, very well could be a very good crew for you, depending on other things you have, like artifacts, low decks, etc. So, just kind of depends on where you're at in the game, what you're focusing on, all these different things that you have to consider every time you do this little thingy thing that we call the Star Trek Fleet Command game. But it is probably I would call the best overall crew in the game right now, just simply because it's nice to have the loot ability like what I'm doing right now, right? Going after these Apex hostiles, I'll do this, and this will be the only time I have to hunt this for at least a week, usually. So I'm going to get all these done. I want to have all the loot. I'll be able to do my refinery for a week, and that's because of the ship ability in conjunction with the officer ability. You know, really increases the amount that I'm getting. That's really good. Really good. Tucker is better. Tucker can be better. But again, once you have got a higher tier ship like my Tribune or the Pylum, like my Pylum at tier 9 doing silence had no issue. And I was able to grind several days worth of silence with this crew. Now, are there better crews? Well, like I said, there are better crews in terms of like if you plug them in a Spox Club, this one will do say 40 hostiles and this one will do 60 hostiles. But if it's about time and loot, a lot of times people go with time and loot. All right. That says they use Janeway Chapel 5. To me, Chapel should always be below decks, never above. Maybe I'm a weirdo there, but to me, Chapel is an always below deck, never above deck officer. Here's Chapel right here. So here's her side ability. I do understand that this is valuable, but this is more valuable, and I still have a loot bonus from everything else. So I could do that. Like I could go back to the dock right now and put Chapel above. But Chapel is just so powerful, giving you better, you know, isolytic damage, just better overall DPR. I'd never take her from below decks, but you are right. If you want to add more loot, that'd be a great way to do it. So you're not wrong. I don't play that way. I need my oomph. And again, that's how I'm able to get several days worth, because my ships are strong enough to basically be wiping these things out very early on. You know, I know this isn't a silent, but you know, they're going one round. That's it. And you're not going to take much damage if you're blowing it all up in one round. But sure, Chapel does have a great ISO ability, and as you pointed out, I haven't felt like I needed it. A good tip for Ops 13, 14, 15 players: hunt swarm hostiles for the Franklin. Yeah, that's a solid tip. You can actually make an argument that you can hunt your swarm hostiles without the Franklin and never even get the Franklin if you wanted to. The game at this point, I wouldn't necessarily say that lower level players shouldn't do the Swarm Sunday event, because they should, especially if you're level 28 and above. But it is very, very dated content at this point. Very dated content. Raj says, I'm at the point in the game where everything I have to kill for my level, I just use Enterprise E Riker Synergy for everything. Only use Loot Crew for Silence and Zindi. There you go. Speed Crew works. I got my Speed Crew on the NX-01 right now. So, Speed Crew works. Repair costs for the Franklin Solo. Repair costs for everything in G3 is so low. Like, the game in G3 gives you so much resources. More resources than you could ever dream of spending. Repair costs shouldn't be a concern for you if you're in G3. it really shouldn't be a concern for you if you're in G4, but absolutely should not even be a consideration of like what you do in G3. Are you correct in that? Yes, absolutely. You're right. G3 can't, or it is a lower repair cost. Sure. But you shouldn't be struggling with resources at all. So, I would say that, and I'll say this on my other accounts, like here is the level 17 account that we're working on here on server 710. This account does not do swarm. I don't need it. I don't do swarm. Swarm is going to get ignored until level 28. And then I'll do it then, because I'll be focusing on getting, Khan and Mara. So this account doesn't do swarm. Doesn't mean it's bad if you are doing it. I'm very picky with my time, and I don't feel like it's worth it enough for me. It doesn't mean that it's not worth it for other people. I've really tried to make sure that people understand that just because I play a certain way doesn't mean you have to follow exactly. I mean, so if you're down for that, you find value in that, do the thing that you find value in. So, looking at the refit skin description for the 4-star miners, are the descriptions incorrect or intended as described? I don't have those descriptions memorized. I'd have to go look at them. So give me a second and we can go take a look at them. You found the NSEA very useful? I mean, the NSEA is basically how the NX01 is for Zindi, where if you get the NSEA and start tearing it up, it takes away a lot of the loot for Mirror. Problem is, most people don't have that ship and won't have it for a very, very long time. But yeah, I mean, as you tier up the NSEA, it really significantly helps Mirror by allowing you to mine the things. I hate mining the things. Mining the things is so boring to rev, but it truly, truly, truly does make that better because of mining. Now, my NSEA is still quite low. I still have not taken it to tier 2, but as it levels up, it does become your best Mirror Universe miner, and thus can allow you to mine that annoying loot. The loop's still annoying in my opinion, but I won't deny that it does make it better. It absolutely does. You don't do swarm, but you do anomalous phenomenon? Yeah, I do anomalous phenomenon because I'll never pass up the speed ups. So, how high have you tiered your G4 miners? My Hydra is my highest, and it is tier 6. Tier 6. Maybe tier 7. Oh. More people mine the things. It means more people to OPC hunt. Absolutely. Selkie mines better. Well, no crap, Duval. Thank you, Big Asbestos Attorney, for rubbing in our faces that you have a Selkie. I appreciate it. I appreciate the rub. Yeah, obviously the Selkie mines fast. But here's the thing. You know how I'm better than your Selkie? Our freaking North Star has got a better cargo than your Selkie. So suck it, Duval. Suck it. And actually, the NSEA Protector will mine faster than the Selkie. You just have to tier it up appropriate for your level. But enjoy your cargo size being that of the North Star. Enjoy. Suffer the North Star. If you have Enterprise Epocar Full Synergy plus Franklin, then the modulator grinding becomes easy. Yeah, that's not the word I would use, but sure. Sure. Erwin, that's the point I was making. Erwin, you just repeated my point. Erwin, that's what I said. That's what I said. But yeah, the NSEA will surpass the Selkie, but you have to get it tiered up. And obviously, this early in the game, that means spending money. And I am a big fan of slow playing the ship's upgrades. So, you think he's Belgian? Oh, Duval's not Belgian. He is red-blooded American. He has dated 2 cousins, man. You can't get more American than Duval. He's very American. OPC hunting Franklin's to skip the modular ground? That's my kind of guy. That's my kind of guy. Yeah, that's what we like to see. Get that Vidar out there and go OPC hunt those Franklins. Heck yeah. Now that is the pirating way. Current level 53 and ranked 5th on all 53s on my server. What are the key considerations moving to 54? You want mine? Well, I'm not even considering 54 until probably around 200 million power, to be honest with you. There's a lot of research in the 50s that I have to catch up on. My Nova is still tier 1. My Vorcha is still tier 3. There's so much research that's opened up for me. Obviously, none of my buildings are even at 53 yet. It's going to be a long time. But I play a lot slower because my goal is to be able to start pushing to 56 when I do decide to start pushing. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to go from 53 to 56 in one fell swoop. That's really, really hard to do. Any G5 player right now can tell you that the state of the game at the moment does not allow an easy transition from 53 to 56 like that. But my general plan is when I do start moving is going to be, you know, kind of going 54, maybe a month, 55, maybe a month, 56, going to maybe take a little bit longer, you know, working on that progression. So it's going to take time, but I'm going to do just like I did with 50 and 46 is I'm going to make sure that I'm really strong at my level, and then I'll move. So a big thing is always I'm looking forward to being able to complete the next loop. So for example, could I do the next set of silence with my Vorcha right now? No, I could not. Not with a tier 3 Vorcha. Tier 5, now we're starting to have that conversation. So, you know, just little things like that determine how I move up. There's a specific milestone you recommend I've done before making the jump to 40? There's a lot of things I'd recommend before you go in the 40s. Number one, have you maxed your Enterprise or at least tier 8'd it, or your Augur? You know, do you have your Talios, Voyager, Defiant, etc., you know, tier 3 max for your level? You know, if you're looking for a general power idea, generally 30 million plus power accounts at level 39 are probably ready to go into the 40s. If you want to be a complete try-hard like the people like Sugar Fat Man, John Connor, etc., you're looking at being 40 million overall power. That's just more of an indicator of the amount of research you've completed, how strong your ships are. You've clearly maxed your buildings at that point. All those things would be goals that I set. That way, when I go into the 40s, there's nothing that I struggle with at all. If I'm at 30 million power, I go into the 40s. I'm doing silence. I'm doing Zindi. You know, I'm probably doing my ISO runs. You know, it's easy. So, you can double pull silent loop. You can jump to 40. Sugar Fat Man being one of those crazy people who have yet to leave 39, giving good advice. You're enjoying the game, but the grind to get a better ship is slow unless you pay. It is. Yeah. I will go several months between getting new ships, especially faction ships. It takes time. Yeah. Definitely a grinding game. Naxley says, you can always check a certain site to see what the average power is for level, even per region. You can. STFC.WTF. And thanks to me asking them for constant updates, you can actually rank yourself based on your server, your level, etc. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Always follow your advice, as your knowledge is so useful to me and the smaller players. Happy to hear, Ron. That's my goal. To help whether you're level 70 or level 7. That's the goal. Help out everybody. Everybody deserves love. Even Sama. He's Canadian. You love Stargate out of the game? Yeah, I don't think Paramount has Stargate, though. Amazon has Stargate rights, don't they? Yeah. I don't think Paramount has that, so don't be anticipating that. Don't really be anticipating any crossovers in the near future with Paramount getting acquired by Skydance. So. Been recommended to skip the Epic G4 and go to the G5. Any thoughts? Obviously, I don't agree with that recommendation. I mean, you're talking to a guy with a tier 9 Tribune. I 1000% recommend getting a G4 Epic. 100%. Do not regret. And nobody that I've recommended who's done it yet has regretted it. You want a Lego Millennium Falcon? Here you go. I need to build it. This is something that everybody got for me last Christmas that I've just not built yet. And it's amazing how time flies. Here you go. Speaking of G4 Epics, Vernon says my Enterprise A just took out a 3.9 billion Klingon Raider. There you go. There you go. Peter says on my server whale, top 1 players said there are no free to play after Ops 40. That's completely wrong. There are pure free to play players who are in the 50s. As in, haven't spent a dime, don't have an extra builder, don't have an extra researcher. They're pure free to play in the 50s. Yeah. There's plenty of free to play in the 40s. Hey, you can talk to people in this chat. There are pure free to play in this chat who are in the 40s. Yeah, I have no idea why that player said, maybe they're talking about your server. Maybe you're on a new server or something. I don't know. but there are pure free-to-play players in the 50s. So, I had a screenshot of some of them in my Discord, but that project I was working on, I need to go work on again. So, you're free to play OS 59. James, I feel like we talked. You weren't pure free to play, right? James, I feel like we talked and you weren't pure free to play. Or am I thinking of somebody else? I have to go look at our screenshot. But yeah, you can definitely free to play into the 50s. James, I feel like there was something on your account. Wasn't there like a $20 or $30? I mean, honestly, if you're up there, James is a good example. He did not spend a lot. But I feel like James, there was a couple of things. But yeah, I remember you didn't have the extra builder. You didn't have the extra researcher. I mean, honestly, you might. Thinking about it. Yeah, you won a couple monthly BPs. That doesn't count. Thiep says they're free. Well, Thiep, you might be free now, and it's appreciated. But you're level 70, Thiep. You can't claim free to play after you've already reached the top. Gosh, like Moopsy. But yeah, James has won battle passes. But actually, I'll pull James' account up right now. Here's James sending me a screenshot from 4 months ago. Which, gosh, I'm so behind on that idea that I had. So here's James' account. Let me put it on the screen. So here's James. As you can see, 6 docs, which is the maximum number if you're free to play. As you can see, no extra builder, no extra researcher. And, you know, 273 million power is not that strong, but again, we're talking about a pure free to play. That's good, right? And now we're level 58 4 months ago. So, oh, and he also sent me his treasury. He has the $5 treasury. Isn't that right, James? You have the $5 treasury, or do the $20 BPs you won push your treasury up? But either way, James is a great example. Great example. Peter says I've been mostly free to play aside from the battle pass and occasionally to purchase a research building cube, but I've done that using credit from Google Play Rewards. Well, I mean, that's still money, right? But that's okay. You know, I wouldn't even classify you as a light spender. You level 50, only spent $100, build a research and a couple of battle passes. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I mean, the primary point being, can you be a pure free to play or maybe have bought 1 or 2 things and be in the 40s and 50s? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Fielder says I'm definitely free to play if you ask my wife. Yikes. Hiding purchases from the wife is never a good idea, Fielden, even though she's probably hiding a billion purchases from you. Debating what to get ship-wise. Ops 42, just waiting on spin event. Klingons at Glorified. Do I keep tearing the Katinga up and wait till the Hectile, or idle it and work on getting Coronar? You do not skip 46s. I've said that a billion times, Zollerton, and you've heard me say it. Don't skip 46s. So, story of the real money is Xing my wallet at the supermarket. I mean, it still is money, man. Like, if you're talking about a free-to-play account, you don't have a free-to-play account, right? But I get what you're saying. I honestly say I have definitely not been free to play. There's nothing wrong with that either. Again, if you are enjoying things, do what you want to do. I say it all the time. And I actually said this in the video when we're talking about the Alliance events. You should spin because you want to and you're having fun. It shouldn't be arm twisting. So if you spin in this game and you enjoyed it, awesome. I've spent on this account. Y'all saw the last pack I bought. I bought a Syndicate pack. That's $100. That's more than people would spend on most AAA titles. Enjoy what you enjoy. And as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. You know, because somebody commented on Reddit, like, why would anybody spend more on this game than a AAA title? And the logic is simple. You're going to spend more time in Star Trek Fleet Command than if you bought Madden 25. Right? I'm not saying Madden 25 is bad. I'm saying that the average player who's in this game every day is generally, and this might scare y'all, but you're generally going to be putting in about 2,000 hours a year in this game. So you're getting your money's worth. How do I come up with that number? Well, that's kind of easy. If you took 52 weeks in the year, and you multiplied that by, let's just say 20 hours, you get 1,000. And that's at a low end. That's 20 hours a week. Some of you diehards are doing a lot more than 20 hours a week. Now, others are not, right? Some people might only be 500 hours in. Most people don't put 5 hours into AAA titles, right? So as you talk about being here 3 years, 4 years, Elvin says they play 6 hours a day. Well, if you played 6 hours a day, 350 days out of the year, that's 2,000 hours. So again, like, the logic is sound, right? If you are getting that much entertainment, sure, spend 20 bucks a month, right? Because if you're talking about dollars to hour of entertainment, the value is there. Whereas for me, I'll be honest, if I get Madden 25, I'm going to get about $1 an hour of entertainment, because I'm probably going to stop that game around 100 hours or less. Like, then I'm done. Like, I got my fix and I'm done. Star Trek Fleet Command, I'm getting significantly better than $1 an hour. Significantly better. So, better value for money than going to the cinema? It depends. Would I rather play Star Trek Fleet Command or go see Deadpool 3 again? I'd rather go see Deadpool 3, but I can't see Deadpool 3 every day of my life, all day. I can play Star Trek Fleet Command with all of you wonderful people and have fun. So that's the value. And some people just will never be able to, you know, like, spend more than, you know, $100 on a game. That's also completely fine. Right? I support things I enjoy. That means some things I support in STFC. That means some things I don't. Hey, we finally blew up. Let's see how much we got so we can go to our refinery. You should see Alien Romulus. I'm not really big on the Alien series. Especially because, I know this is going to make me lame, but the canon of Alien has been rewritten and changed 4 billion times. It's tough to really follow and enjoy for me. I like when there is a cohesive timeline, when there is a set canon that very, very rarely is deviated from, like Star Trek. Star Trek has broken its canon before, but Alien breaks its canon every movie that they come out with. And do I enjoy the original Alien movies? Yeah, I think they're great. But I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan. You know, and I've already read a few spoilers of how this movie and some other movies have, like, negated Prometheus. You know, just stuff like that. Yeah. You know, it's enjoy what you enjoy. I hate the constant changing with that franchise. Kelvin Trek doesn't bother me at all. Kelvin Trek is not a problem. Kelvin Trek actually deviated and made a new universe. Alien doesn't do that. Alien says that everything's happening in the same universe. I don't know. Kelvin is exactly how you do it if you're going to branch out. Like, if you're going to go back to the same timeline and redo something, yeah, you split it. You make a new universe. Loved how they did it. I would argue that the Kelvin movies are doing a heck of a lot better than Marvel's been doing with their attempt to do multiversing. So I have no issue with the Kelvin movies in that regard. But that's not how the Alien movies have been. So, exactly, Vernon. Kelvin Trek was the right direction. There's a reason the Kelvin movies are some of the highest rated Star Trek movies of all time, right? Old Trek fans don't like them because it redid their classic characters, but generally speaking, they were successful movies in terms of reception. So, you don't see that with Alien. You get a lot of people who gripe about Alien. Another example, not just Alien, Mortal Kombat. Was anybody really big in the Mortal Kombat games when they were a kid? The last, like, 4 Mortal Kombat games have just, like, wrecked canon 400 different ways. Like 5 Mortal Kombat games. And they just keep redoing it and just going crazy with their canon. And I get that it's a video game, but that killed Mortal Kombat for me. Because I used to love the campaign. I used to love the storylines of the characters. And they've gone all over the place. Mortal Kombat's been going crazy. All the way back to Mortal Kombat, 11 and MK1 and 3. It just, I like it when it follows the line. And it bugs me when things don't. So. Rex says, I'm 99% fine with the Kelvin films, but the Enterprise being the size of the Enterprise D is hard to accept. For me, it's easy to accept because you just got Borg/Romulan technology from the future inserted in, which drastically changes how you design ships, how you do things. So I don't have an issue with that. If I have an issue with things from the Kelvin movies, I'm going to point out the fact that they went from Kronos to Earth in like 15 seconds. Right? That's what I'm going to gripe about. That's what I'm going to gripe about. Everybody's going to have what they like and don't like. All right. Nothing wrong with those answers. One day when the Mortal Kombat games are like, I can buy them for $5, I'll get some of the newer Mortal Kombat games just to play them. So, what about Starship Troopers? Erwin, it's easy to trash Starship Troopers. Watch any of the movies of Starship Troopers after the first one. The only Starship Troopers after one worth watching are like the animated ones. Any of the real life ones are so deplorably just bad, not worth watching. Easy. Done. Nailed it. You want to get Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. Don't even know. All right, let's see. What else we got question-wise? Those are doing Star Trek. Strange New World could easily become the best Star Trek show to date. I agree. For me to say Strange New Worlds is the best, we needed to go at least 3 or 4 more seasons minimum. But I would agree. New Dragon Ball fighting game. Oh, if y'all want to buy it for me, so yeah, if y'all want to get it for me, I'd appreciate it. We put it on my birthday list. My birthday's coming up, but I don't buy many video games. I don't buy many video games. Trooper 2 is delirious. It never happened. And then again, enjoy what you enjoy. Some people have enjoyed it, and it's a cult classic. So I let people enjoy what they enjoy, whatever that is. Go enjoy it. All right, I need to go do mirror stuff. I guess today is mirror day. It has been about a week since I've done mirror. So let's do. We'll go do this first. What arc have you loved in STFC? I love the lower deck arcs. Love lower decks. I would put lower decks as some of my top. Second lower decks wasn't good. First lower deck arc was fantastic. One of my favorite arcs of all time. I'd even say the first Strange New World arc was also extremely good. Ooh, wrong one. I need to go to the bottom one, because I need to go all the way out here. Then Mr. Jason Nesmith, I need to do him as well. Or his ship, rather. I need to do the NSCA Protected today. My birthday just over a week ago. I got a pair of Crocs. You hate Crocs? I'm sorry, Ryan. I also hate Crocs. Any chance to propose the Overlords to give patterns for Sunday shards? Already happens, Jesus. You get transporter patterns for Khan and Mara. Already happened. Your favorite, the Enterprise E officers? Okay. Enterprise E's officers were obviously very good. Heck, I'm using them now. Yeah, it's non-visual, Jesus. So, before anybody asks, no, I don't have a transporter pattern update. Stop asking. Stop asking. I don't have an update. You wouldn't have to ask. I tell people this all the time. If I had something, you wouldn't have to ask. You would know. I would tell you. You wouldn't have to ask. So, there you go. You like the Discovery arc? And Discovery arc, that was a long time ago, man. Hopefully you've enjoyed something since then, my friend. If you think about it, the mirror in Star Trek is kind of like Stargate with the huge step through gates they went through. Yeah. Yeah, Stargate definitely ripped that off. Absolutely. Yeah. Samo's crying right now, realizing her show is nothing but a Star Trek ripoff. Main change in 5657. Oded, look at the ops progression sheet. List all the changes. Look at the master ops progression sheet that we have in our Discord. List all the changes at each level. If you look at the master chart, you can see all the things that it will adjust, whether it be the refineries, whether it be the Armada chest, which I need to actually go pull Armada chest. Look at the ops progression sheet. Boopsie! Babylon 5 is the weakest sci-fi show of all time. I wouldn't say it's the weakest, but it's definitely incredibly overrated by people from the 90s, Moopsie. I do agree with you there. It's incredibly overrated by people from the 90s. So. Waiting on Scopa to do Rev's Wrath of Khan arc? Me too. I also am waiting. Have you watched the arc? I have not. I have not. All right, let's see what else we got before we got to repair this bad boy. This Tala is so strong. Honestly, the Tala is kind of strong. Like, it's tier 7, it's 20,000 power. Like, that was an impossible figure back in the day. Choosing violence. Look, I went and watched, you know, I'm 2 seasons in on Babylon 5. And I don't think it's bad. But man, Babylon 5 got hyped up as the greatest sci-fi show of all time. I'm just like, no, don't see it. It's solid. Like, it's definitely watchable. Like, if you've never seen it, I would tell you to go watch it. But it's not the greatest show of all time. And there's so many people in my community who hype it up as that. And I get that they like it. I don't understand the hype. You know, it's good. But it's no Stargate. You know, it's no Star Trek, it's no Star Wars, no Doctor Who, it's no Expanse, it's no Battlestar Galactica. I mean, I can name so many sci-fi shows that are superior to Babylon 5, while Babylon 5 still being watchable. Babylon 5 is season 4 is the best. Yeah, if it takes that long to get great, it ain't good. Sorry. If it takes that long to get great, it ain't good. Some. The tally refit looks like the shadow ships from Babylon 5. Now that is true, Mark. I agree with that. I agree with that. And there are some cool things in Babylon 5. I've never seen Farscape, so I cannot render an opinion on Farscape. I've never seen Farscape. TNG had a slow start. TNG had a slow start, but it didn't have 4 seasons slow start. Like, even DS9, which starts slow, still has really good points in the first 3 seasons. It just takes off when the Dominion War goes, you know, crazy, and we actually get to have some of that fun. But I mean, it still has it has a bad first season, but it still has some good points in 2 and 3. You can't compare Babylon 5 to modern stuff with 20 times budget. Well, half the shows I mentioned were during its time, like Star Trek. Stargate came out in the mid-90s. And Stargate did not have a massive budget. And I will give you I will say Londo is a fantastic character in Babylon 5. Just don't think that the entire show is fantastic. Episode where Londo is fighting the bugs in his room, you died. No, you didn't. You're still here. I have to listen to you every day. So you did not die. In fact, you're still here. All right, let me go over here so I don't get lost. Y'all going to distract me. I'm not going to get anything done. Babylon 5 was better than Star Trek was at the time. 1,000,000% disagree. Again, having watched both of them, right where they're at, I just don't agree. I get that people like it. Babylon 5 can't hold a candle to either Star Trek show that was on at the time, in my opinion. But I respect that other people like it. And you're never going to change my mind. The original episode of Stargate had boobs. The pilot did indeed, yes. Now nostalgia is blinding me? No, because I've watched both of them recently. Yeah, I actually would make an argument that y'all's old people nostalgia is blinding you. Y'all's old people nostalgia is blinding you. I'm literally the one who's given both of them fresh takes because I wasn't alive when it was happening. Like, I was 2 years old. You old people are biased. Wait till you've seen all Babylon 5. Slither, it doesn't matter, dude. Like, I've already heard all these arguments, man. I'm sorry. I don't agree with you. I'm glad you enjoy Babylon 5. But even the characters cannot go toe-to-toe with Star Trek characters. They're just not as good. Yeah, you can name a good character. I'm sorry. It's not that great. There's a reason that people are not having more Babylon 5 shows. It's not happening. There's a reason that Star Trek has been around 60, 70 years. If Babylon 5 was that great, they would make more. Nobody's resurrecting Babylon 5 like that. They're resurrecting Star Trek, though, every 10 years. If the supermarket is playing your jams, you might be old. Oh, yeah, they're definitely playing your jams. Absolutely. Babylon 5 is coming back. It's come back like twice, and both times flopped and failed because nobody supported it. So, rest in peace, Firefly. Yeah, who knows what that would have been. Can we have a Babylon 5 t-shirt? No, because I'm not going to get sued for copyright infringement for making a literal Babylon 5 t-shirt. People who love Babylon 5 wrap their couch and remotes in plastic. That's hilarious. Hey, Joel, how you doing? Welcome in, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, we got to zoom in, make sure we don't hit any big scaries. Got to make sure we don't hit any big scaries. What about Battlefield Earth? I will give you that Battlefield Earth is worse than Babylon 5. Absolutely. Who knew John Travolta could make a terrible movie? When you're 67 years old, you too will appreciate Babylon 5. When I'm 60 years old, 67 years old, I'll be the old man complaining that the kids don't respect lower decks, I guess. But Battlefield Earth was horrendous. It was. I've heard there's a book for it that's really good. I've never read the book. Danis, I was able, I have to check. I think it's still there. But Babylon 5 was on Tubi? It's on one of the free ones. Yeah, it's on Tubi right now. Which is how I was watching it. I haven't watched it in a few months, but it's on Tubi. So, Tubi does have commercials, though. Keep that in mind. But, I mean, if you can deal with the fact that it's basically like watching it on cable back in Moopsie's day, there you go. All right, let's just keep on grinding. Oh, there's an Enterprise E. Oh, no touchy. No touchy. No touchy touchy. Big ow. Big owie. No touchy touchy. Don't do it. Whew. It's pretty. I'll give it that. I love how they marked it the ISS Enterprise E, but they used the standard Enterprise E model. They didn't even make it ISI. They didn't even do like the ISS markings. There's no ISS on this thing. This is just an Enterprise E. They didn't even change the registry. Yeah, they didn't even make it ISIS. ISS? It didn't make it ISI. They didn't even make it ISI. Like, they just straight up threw the regular Enterprise E in here. As if we weren't gonna notice. As if. Took the time to make the Dreadnought Enterprise D and put, you know, its fancy color markings on it. You watch the Apollo 11 land on the moon? Wow. That's a long time ago. I hope I'm old enough to watch SpaceX land on Mars. Which loop would you say is the worst in STFC? The Devore loop. Maxing out the Devore is the worst loop in the game if you're asking my personal, professional opinion. Why is it the Dreadnought a skin? You'd buy that. Great question. Great question. Wish I had the answer. You were 8 when it landed? If it landed in 1969, I was negative 20 something. Gosh, is it really that long ago? Wow, we're about to come up on 60 years of us not going to the moon again or landing on the moon. Long time. If I had to pick Babylon 5 or Buck Rogers, Buck Rogers. I've never watched Buck Rogers, so I don't have an opinion. Good math. I mean, basically just taking 120 minus 60. It's not hard. Sorry if that's too common core for y'all. COVID was 5 years ago? No, it wasn't. It was 4. 2020. Stop making us feel old. Okay, back game after 1.5 year gap. Is there any way I can speed up the Borg rep or my Doom to 250 rep a day? You're talking about the X Borg rep? The X Borg rep speeds up when you get to G4. You can start doing like the Zindi loop and stuff. But if you're like level 38, you've got that slow X Borg rep. Yes. You never seen Buck Rogers? No. Again, y'all. If I Google Buck Rogers, let's see. Buck Rogers. Let's see the year. A decade before I was even born. Of course, I've not seen it. Also, it's got a 38% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Gross. Well, at least IMDb is better. IMDb is 6.9 out of 10. That actually makes me think that that Babylon 5 is superior. But yeah, it literally came out before I was born. Of course, I've not seen it, y'all. Which series of Doctor Who have you watched or liked most? Well, the only Doctors I've seen are 9 through 11. And I would say Tennant is my favorite Doctor. Do you like Red Dwarf? Which one? Which one? And no, I've never seen half the shows, like Space 1999. No, I've not seen it. Logan's Run, never even heard of it. No. Is this the last chance to get Tim Allen? That okay? I was like, is that a visual problem? Look green. I was like, oh, green Burrell. That's actually cool. And we believe so, but we don't know. Star Trek started age before you're born. Yeah, which is why I say that I don't like TOS. Like, TOS is one of the worst Star Treks in existence, in my opinion. It's hard to watch. Like, I respect it for what it did for the genre, but TOS is nowhere near my top Star Treks. And like, if I'm recommending people to get into Star Trek, I definitely don't recommend TOS. Like before 2000, everything was black and white and color TV came afterwards. I think that is how it happened. Yeah. I agree. Has great characters. The original series movies are significantly better than the original series, in my opinion. It's the exact opposite of The Next Generation. The Next Generation series is way better than its movies as a whole. TOS's movies are way better than its series. Easy to judge way after the facts? Sure. Yeah. I get that. Oh, Voyager's the worst Star Trek ever made. To me, Brandon. It's the worst ever. But it's still Star Trek, and I love all Star Trek, and I watch all Star Trek. I've watched TOS in completion. I've watched Voyager 4 times. So I think all Star Trek is good. It just might not be as good as others. See, Disco's not anywhere near dead last for me. Like, Disco is significantly better than, like, Voyager. Like Voyager, but the ending you're not a fan of? Fair. Disco suffers from the same thing that early Star Trek did, where the early seasons are very meh. Also, Disco gave us Strange New World, so thank you to that. If y'all want to see what is essentially season 1 of Strange New World / Captain Pike, watch season 2 of Disco. Iron Fister, I don't know why people care what they did to the Klingons. They've changed the Klingons multiple times in Star Trek. Who cares? It's cosmetic stuff. The TNG Klingons don't look anything like the original series Klingons. And then they, wrote in a reason why with Star Trek Enterprise. I don't care. I had no issue with that. First sci-fi film I saw was in 1967, and it was When the Earth Stood Still. Never heard of it. You care a lot? Good for you. Most people don't. Why Disco has good ratings. New Star Trek fans don't care. Older fans are... And look, I'm sure I will become the same way about something one day. You get really tied to like what you fell in love with. But I don't have an issue with it. Roddenberry, his son, didn't have an issue with it. So I don't care. I enjoyed it. If I'm going to dislike something, it's because of bad writing, which season 1 had a lot of bad writing. Star Trek is like pizza. Even the bad stuff is good. I'd watch the worst Star Trek over the best reality TV. I definitely would rather watch it than reality TV. I do like my sports ball, though. I do like my sports ball. Will we know who Picard was if not for the original Star Trek? No, but that just because you're the first thing doesn't mean you're the best thing. Example, is the first Super Bowl team to ever win a Super Bowl better than Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs now? No, they'd get absolutely destroyed. It wouldn't even be close. Just because you're the first doesn't mean you're the best. Things can get better over time, but you can still appreciate the Green Bay Packers and helping the NFL become a thing, and then the NFL AFL merge. You can appreciate all these things, but that doesn't make it better than what you currently have. So I appreciate TOS. I really do. It will never be anywhere near the top if we're just rating it based on the quality of the episodes. Because there are some horrible episodes in TOS. The Pike two-parter, holy crap. The episode with Abraham Lincoln, oh my gosh. There are some awful episodes of TOS. What's a good crew for wave defense? Standard PvE crews. Generally, where people run one heavy PvE crew and then a speed crew on their second. That's generally what people will do. Picard, TOS, am I missed something? We're just comparing, you know, quality of Star Treks, I guess. Since we're tangenting a bunch, what's your favorite anime? I can't list just one. I love anime. I can't. You'd have to go like genre. People arguing about which is the best series until they give us a Romulan-centric series. And then we'll all universally agree that the Romulan one's the worst. Cream-blooded devils. Why should have stayed zoomed in? Why didn't I stay zoomed in? I really hate that new loot goblin. I hate it. Loot goblins, if you played any game ever that has a loot goblin is literally easy to destroy. And it just gives lots of loot. I hate the freaking loot. Of course, Scopely's going to design a loot goblin that literally makes you hate the game. Of course. They can't give you something nice without making it awful. Just, you go play Diablo. Is that loot goblin hard to kill? No. All right. Mini tangent over. I need to go collect my chest and pray I can do a single pull now. Yeah, I think I got enough. We'll see. Nope. Stupid game. All right, well, let's go do our NSCA. Where are you at? Where's the protector? Do I have it out somewhere? Oh, there it is. Oh, I did take it to tier 2. Not bad. I'm actually working on tier 3. I did take it to tier 2. Let's go do that. Best place for Romulan reputation? There is no such thing as the best place. It comes down to which of the traders you can hit the most of. You want to look for a system that you can hit about 20 traders, 30 traders or more. It just depends on how much you want to grind. There's not a specific system that gives more ROM rep. Yeah, TR, I hit the loot goblin. So that's why I should stay zoomed in. Usually when I do the loop, I'm not on stream, so I don't get distracted. That's on me. I run 2 at the same time? What do you mean? Well, you mean games? I've got BlueStacks and the PC client. But I'm gonna do a video this week about running multiple versions of the PC client. I know a lot of people have been asking me about that. So let's go. Who's that? Oh, look, it's another NSEA. Got any loot? No. PvP Corona? What was that crew? All right, up to Miranosica we go. Are there specific systems that give a better chance of BP drop? Nope. BP drops are based on the level of the hostile, not on system. Zap. No, the away team store has not been updated for G5 and G6. It looked like Freeman, Lorca, and Romud. Raj. I remember which direction am I going. I think I go to Maluria, where I usually grind, I think. No, I'll go to Deneva. I need to go to Rigel. You go to Rigel. I don't have the answer to that, JC. I don't have the answer. Also, let's see Jane's new account. Yep, level 59, 300 million. Still hasn't bought anything. Nice, James. Very nice. Got a lot of par still now. Definitely got more loot than you used to have. All right, now we need to go to Deneva. That one. I don't know why they put it on the side when you're going north. That's very confusing. Like, they should have made that the northern taxiway, not that. It's so confusing. That's so confusing. Do, 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 do. You buggy game. All right. Wish I'd update what BPs get to drop though. Yeah, I mean everybody does. Chris, we've been asking that for a long time. Still have the account of 43 that was years ago. Nice. Very nice, Aunt Honey. And here we are. Let's start hitting things. So we can get our raw Trellium, not the Omega Trellium. Raw Omega Trellium. You see, I can mine 300,000 an hour of Trellium A with a tier 2 NSEA protector. You're one shard away from tearing up Torres, and Scopely refuses to give me that last shard. Well, you should be kinder to Scopely. Maybe they'll give it to you. It'd be nicer. Also, this is a hazard system, and it is painful. The system is painful. By the way, appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button. And I do ask generally once a stream, if you want to support me and my kids. As you see, we have a donation fund, and right now the donation fund is saving up to get a new phone since my son broke it. If you would like to support me and the kids, it's greatly appreciated. Obviously not required. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. But if you don't want to help out, there's the link for PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. Any way to help out tremendously. I can't do any of the stuff that I do, gripe at Scopely, make videos, hang out with y'all, without y'all's financial support. So thank you to all those who choose to do it. And if you want to support monthly, like you're saying, hey, I just want to give you like $5 a month, $20 a month. If you go to our website, revduce.com, you can sign up to do that there. And there are actually monthly member benefits, like watching movies together. So that's cool. The BPs drop based on hostile type you're hitting. No, it's just level of hostile opens up a certain loot range. So Jason Nesmith, the best anti-hostile crew? No. For my sins, you forgot to like the stream. You should never forget to like it, Any Cool. But thank you for liking it. Greatly appreciated. Just like I appreciate everybody who supports me and the kids. Everything helps. Subscribing, commenting, liking, donos. All that helps me support my family. So thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to try to grind as many of these hostiles as I can. And thankfully, there's no loot goblins here. So I can just take down Enterprise D Dreadnoughts, which clearly this means the NSEA Protector was stronger than the Enterprise D in canon. Don't argue with me. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at Scopely. Clearly, the NSEA Protector is stronger than the Enterprise D Dreadnought version. It's just facts. Facts. Hostile level for Newton BPs, 49s. To get 46 ships, it's level 49 hostile. So the capital systems. Yeah, YouTube comments help, Peter. So everything. So for every YouTube video, they track 3 basic analytics. 3 basic things for the analytics: viewing, liking / disliking, and commenting. So doing all 3 things helps out the SEO, helps the growth, etc. Do 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 do. Na 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 na. All All right, let's go up here and let's go and get some of these grind. We do have our wrap up here in just a moment, just FYI. And then also, if you're a big fan of foosball, American foosball, preseason's going on. So y'all watch the preseason foosball. Well, tonight my New Orleans Saints are playing. It's I think 7 o'clock. So I'm like 5.5 hours away. It's preseason, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, it's football. And many of us have been waiting desperately for football to return. It's been a long time. If you're a 35-year-old lurker, oh, okay. I mean, that's something that so easily can be taken out of context and be like, well, that's creepy. No, you're not being creepy, but like, imagine the things that we say online we shouldn't say in person. That's something that I can't say. I'm about to turn 35. So, how would you make an expansion of the Outlaw Stella loop? I wouldn't, Dagaroth, being honest. I would let the Stella lay dead. I wouldn't make people go do it again. Title of your autobiography? Fair. Lean into it. Go all the way. Do it. All right, let's get this one. Uno, dos, tres. Deep is the bass. Hey, I rhymed. I could be a musician. So easy. So easy. Play 4 chords on the guitar. You could be a musician too. Also, I love that you literally have an Uno Star Trek. That's awesome. I don't have that deep. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I don't have Uno Star Trek. All right, y'all. We're right over the day. Thank you for the 500 plus people that have watched today. That's freaking awesome of y'all. Like the video on your way out. Live long and plunder. If you need any help, remember you can contact me on Facebook or Discord or even Twitter any day. Love y'all. But I want to wrap it up for the day. See you. I don't know if we'll do a bonus stream tonight, but I'll definitely have content tomorrow. So I'll see y'all tomorrow if nothing else.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.